Hello and welcome. It is another pre-stream interview, and I am stoked to be joined today by Mike from Ramskull. You're going to be our next band on Red Tie Live. We're pumped to have you, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're very excited.
What are you bringing to Red Tie Live? What's the setup going to look like? What's the energy going to be like when we walk into that room?
I think we're a pretty high energy group, but we also like to kind of mix it up. We're not a typical metal band in Winnipeg, right? So we're going to bring some fiddle, and we're going to bring a couple extra instruments and stuff that you don't typically see with the metal bands. So we'll have some treats.
I love that. Okay, so you said that you have on your last album 16 or 17 different instruments. You already mentioned the fiddle. There's also triangle that I'm aware of. Where do these different instruments, like who plays these instruments for one, and like how did you decide to bring them all into the mix?
Pretty much it's Keegan Porter, our guitar player, and Carson Penner, our other guitar player, who actually was our former drummer. So he's kind of a percussionist, if you will, at the same time. So the two of them just kind of mixed it all up, just kind of said like, let's try this, let's try that, right? And so if you listen carefully, they're all on the album. There's some just a lot of different percussion instruments. So yeah, they're all there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So for anybody that might not know your band very well, talk us through a little bit about how you guys came together. You were in a different band before, and
yeah, we started way back in 2007-ish.
Long time ago.
Way back. We were a band called 16 Eyes, and me and Shane Fletcher, we started that band, and really kind of worked our way through just trying to perfect what we wanted to do, what our sound was, and everything like that. We always kind of wanted to have it be a little bit of metal with Canadiana in it, if you will, something weird, some quirks, right? So, and then we put out 3 albums doing that, and kind of came to the conclusion that we wanted to kind of start pushing ourselves a little bit harder, a little bit more technical music. So we decided that we'd start Ramskull. So we recruited a new lineup and went at it that way. So we've got 2 albums out right now, and just kind of still working away.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to get into this too much because I know it's heavy, but you did lose Shane. You said he was the heart of your band.
Yeah,
that's got to be a crazy experience, and I feel like the more bands I talk to, like it's actually more common than you'd think.
It's a really sad thing that it is common, and having lost somebody, you're a little bit more sensitive to seeing that it's happening a lot more than one would think from kind of a little bit more of an outsider's point of view. But yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic in November of 2020, Shane unfortunately took his own life, and so since then, it took us quite a while to get our feet back underneath us and kind of come up with a plan as to what we were going to do. Yeah. And, but it was right from the get-go. There wasn't a question of if the band was over or anything like that. It was always going to continue. It was always like going to be there for Shane. That he was the type of guy that he put his entire life into it, right? So it was just felt wrong for us to not try to
see it through,
to be there for him, in this way, right? Yeah. So every night that we go out or every practice that we have, there's it's kind of for him. It's kind of changing a little bit to the point now where it's like starting to be like, oh yeah, this is kind of our thing now too, right? But he's kind of still the heart and soul of us, even though he's not here. So.
And like, what role did like community in the music scene have in supporting you guys as a band, sort of through that really hard time?
It was phenomenal. I mean, I hope that nobody really has to experience what we went through. Unfortunately, there are people that have to experience it, and sadly, and going to continue to. But our community, like the number of people that reached out, and just, and it wasn't just in the first couple days, it wasn't just in the first couple of weeks, it was literal months. People were messaging me like, hey, how you doing? Like, are you okay? and it kind of really made me want to be like that too. Like I didn't know that I would have liked to think that I would be the person that was reaching out to people as well. But since then, unfortunately, we've lost more allies, and so I'm trying to do that, be there for people, because it's unbelievable. Like this past October, we had our memorial show for Shane finally, and the support was unbelievable. Like the bands that came out, we had guest singers come out. It really was.
What a nice tribute.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And his like all of Shane's family was there too, so they got to see that and what kind of community that Shane was a part of.
And what he meant to other people.
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
That's huge, right?
So it's unreal. This community, at the heart of it, is amazing.
Okay. Well, I do want to lighten the mood again. We'll pick it back up. I promise. So unfortunately, Shane wasn't able to see the release of your latest album, and then it did so well. So in a weird way, it's kind of nice because you're honoring his spirit and what he started, and then to make such a huge success of it, I feel like he'd be so proud.
Yeah, I hope so.
So let's talk a little bit about your. How you guys did at the Manitoba Loud Music Awards last year. You took home Single of the Year, Album of the Year, Metal Band of the Year, and your drummer won Drummer of the Year. What's it like to be recognized by the community like that? Like it's pretty huge.
It's pretty overwhelming. I like to think of myself occasionally as someone who's fairly well spoken and that can say poignant things and everything like that. And you go in and I was standing when they were doing the nominees for the Metal Band of the Year, and these bands are coming up. My daughter's standing beside me filming it, and I'm like, oh, this band's gonna win. Oh no, it's this band that's gonna win. No, okay, I think it's this band that's gonna win, right? And then we won, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know.
Having your own little Oscars or like Grammy moment, you're like, me?
I did this, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was a special evening for us. It was really, really cool for us as a band to be honored that way. And, say what you want about award shows and everything like that. Like, it's doing amazing things for the scene in Winnipeg, or Manitoba, I should say, not Winnipeg. But to be able to go up and thank people and talk from the heart and everything.
Did you get a little verklempt?
At a couple points. Yeah. Well, then they put a big picture of the band up behind you, and they photoshopped Shane into the picture for us and all this stuff. So it's just like you look up and you're like, oh my God, here we go. All right. So, when we won that award, I didn't know what to say at that point. Like we did have received the other two awards already, and so it was just a big celebration at that point, right? So it was really awesome to be able to celebrate that way, and in the back of your head, or wear it on your sleeve when it comes to like who you're doing it for and stuff like that, right? So it was definitely a special thing.
Nice. Yeah. So you mentioned in there that it's not just about recognizing Winnipeg bands; it's recognizing bands from all over Manitoba, and you guys are spread out all throughout Manitoba, sort of, right? Yeah,
for the most part, we're actually two of us live in Winnipeg, and then two of us are rural Manitobans, but actually all four of us are from all over the province. Actually, now that I think about it.
And so does that open doors for you guys to play at different places? Like, I'm thinking like was it the Merc in Selkirk or the 40? I know you've played at the 40 in Brandon.
40s,
So do you have opportunities because of having these people living in diverse places?
Yeah, it does help. It does. It helps at least when you're going into these places that people kind of already know who you are a little bit, and you're not just a band showing up on a Friday night.
Because you're kind of local to multiple places.
Yeah,
that's a really cool idea.
I love
that.
It's just by luck.
Yeah, okay.
but it's kind of in a way started to define who we are in a bit, right? We're kind of, not to make it sound terrible, but we kind of like started saying like, well, we're Manitoba's band, right? Because we're from all over the province and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do some really cool things this summer. Like we have the 40 coming up again right away, and we're actually going to go up to the Paw in May.
Nice.
And things, So Badlands Promotions is sending us up there for that. So
very cool.
Yeah, we're going to see some cool new spots this summer.
Hey, well, I'm excited to hear more about what you guys have coming up, because I know you do have a festival booked for this summer already. So it sounds like you're going to have a busy year.
We are. We're doing Loud as Hell on August long. So
Drum Heller, Alberta.
Here we come.
That's awesome.
So hopefully hit up a few places on the way there, and we're extremely excited to be able to do that. It's something that has been kind of like a bucket list thing for quite some time, and we're very excited to be able to get out there and just experience the whole thing.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I really like the post you guys had on your Facebook page. You sort of did like a 2023 year in review, talking about the shows you played. You listed the bands that you played with. You listed some of the accolades. I think that is like really important for people to revisit their wins, right? Because life moves so fast, we forget about things. So like just reading through that, I felt like, I don't know, some kind of like affinity for your band. I've hardly listened to more than a handful of tracks, but I was just like, they had a great year. 2023 was great for Ramskull.
Well, I wrote that, so thank you. Actually, we were actually looking at getting T-shirts made with all the dates from every year, like that we've played, right? So we're tour 2023,
nice.
Even though it's all around Manitoba, it's still ours. That's kind of like our sense of humor in a way, right?
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Can we turn the T-shirt to the camera here? We got to show this off. This is beautiful artwork here. And look, we kind of match unintentionally. Look at this. We didn't even plan it. Let's talk about who designed this very cool piece of art.
This is what we call the Ramdigo. So it's our own little cryptid.
Is that the same thing that's on your tattoo?
Yeah, it's a play on the Ramskull there that we have, right? And Mitch Jensen from Hell's End made it for us, and he's made a lot of local bands art. He does a lot of the punk rock flea markets and stuff like that. Just a great local guy who's in the scene as well, and
And you feel clearly you feel that his style represents, the music that you play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He really is a great guy to work with. Yeah.
Nice. So I was reading a review of your album, and the way they described your band, like they called you progressive sludge metal, prog death, and doom. What do you think when people slap labels on that? I know most musicians are like, ugh, don't put us in a box. We just are what we are. We play what we play. But like,
well, when somebody does something like that, I look at it and go like, is that what we are? Because like when people find out that you're in a band, they're like, oh, what kind of music do you play?
Who do you sound like?
Yeah, and then when they ask you, like, oh, you're in a metal band, well, what kind of metal? Or like, what do you play? Like,
well, I feel like every year there's like more niches, right?
Yeah,
more subdivisions.
So we don't know. Like that's why we always say like, we're Canadian metal.
Love it.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we might fit into all of those at one point or another, or we might not.
Okay.
But we're cool.
Don't put Ramskull in a box.
Yeah, we're cool with that.
Saying.
Yeah, just don't do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're going to want to check out Ramskull's live stream on Saturday, March 2nd. Make sure you sign up for notifications on the Reds High Live YouTube page. You're not going to want to miss it. I want to thank Torque for having us here in their lovely tap room for another great interview. And, of course, our sponsors as well, Rock in the Fields, Frozen Fire Studios, Peg City Pickups, Badland Promotions, and A&W at 1520 Portage Avenue. Mike, thank you so much. I can't wait to see what you bring.
This is awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.